We learned, I guess you guys didn't. You weren't at the barbecue, but I was at a barbecue last week with a bunch of NHL scouts.
Keep reminding me that it was.
And well, I was going to text you, but it was another guy's house.
No, I was invited.
And oh, you were?
Yeah.
So you know who? I don't want to name who it was.
No, of course not.
But he said, well, it wasn't him. It was another guy that was there that he said, you don't just name the the Canadian NHL teams. I work for a U.S. U.S. NHL team, and I think, why do I have to say it at all? You have the app, don't you?
Yeah, not everybody.
You know.
Speaking of which, Seattle named some of their scouts today. One of their lead scouts, Cami Granato, former American hockey star, wife of Ray Ferraro. Cami Granato is one of their
congratulations.
Scouts. It's just interesting.
Stu Barnes was on that list.
Stu Barnes, Tri-City Americans.
He was one of my favorite all-time hockey cards that I had. He was in a World Junior hockey uniform.
Yeah,
and it was a Stu Barnes. I don't know why. I have no idea why. I just loved it. He was wearing an iTech at the time.
Hockey cards.
Not that that's taking everybody down memory lane there, but yeah,
it's all good.
Hockey cards give me nightmares.
Why?
I was a kid, and I got this great 25th anniversary set, the OPE or whatever it is, right? OPG set, 25th anniversary, opened them all up, got these great cards. I had Gretzky, I had Lemieux, I had some of the old guys like Richard, and I picked all the best ones. All the Leaf ones went into little sleeves and are in a binder, but I picked all those great ones, and I'm like, these are going to be worth some money. So I put them in a wooden box, and I saved them, and I went out in the backyard, and I dug a hole.
Ruined them.
And I buried them, right? Didn't put them in plastic.
Don't!
And I go back out years later.
Ruined.
They're ruined.
Yeah.
It's the biggest disaster of my life.
Who was your favorite, not favorite player, Rod, because I know you would have collected hockey cards. Who was like your favorite guy to collect hockey card of?
I like Pete Peters.
No, yeah.
Remember Pete Peters?
Of course.
Boston Bruins goalie, Philadelphia Flyers goalie. He comes to mind.
I had a
Fiersy, of course.
I had a whack of Bill Ranford hockey cards.
Gotta love that,
I don't know why. I wasn't a goalie. Bill Ranford, and my most prized possession was I purchased. It was the first time I went to like a store. I think it was Records on Wheels in Weyburn, and bought a hockey card. It was a Yari Curry rookie card.
They're all great.
And I paid like $15 for it.
Boy, are we getting off track, but I'm glad you said that. Because
I'm sure these guys all.
Yeah,
had
who's your favorite hockey card?
gals.
Let us know. There's another audience participation. I just remember years ago in the 80s, we went to Edmonton on a family trip, and the people that we were visiting, it was some hockey people, I think. And they lived across the backyard from Yari Curry. You know how the homes here are so close together?
Yeah.
You can literally see what's going on in the people's across the backyard. That's what it was with Yari Curry. So me and my brother stood there for 8 hours.
Waiting to see him.
Just watching Yari Curry. And he had his feet up on his couch watching TV all day. And we never got tired of it.
Better than backing onto Dino Ciccarelli's backyard.
Whoa, you don't want to do that.
Who
hasn't gone out to get their newspaper with no underwear
and
on?
everybody's on Google.
How did we go this far?
Everybody's on Google.
And not talk about Auston Matthews yet?
Oh, speaking of
Actually,
underwear.
that's why I wanted to read the morning sports update, because I wanted to make sure that I got it right. And here it is. Auston Matthews is facing a charge of disorderly conduct and disruptive behavior after an incident in Scottsdale, Arizona, the hometown of the Maple Leaf star. A police report says the complaint was filed by a female security guard employed by a local condo building where she says Matthews is a resident. She had a confrontation with Matthews and a group of his friends where they tried to get into her locked car, and Matthews allegedly pulled down his pants. So that is from the Canadian Press Newswire. I mean, we can be flippant about that.
Pants, but not underwear.
His underwear was still up.
Yes.
And here's where I will go with this. Young man, off-season, partying with his buddies, doing dumb things.
Sure.
The security guard said in her report that he was clearly intoxicated. Obviously, she's got to put that in her report. I'm not going to get into the morality of all this, because God knows where I've been, where you've been, and I don't know DuPont well enough to say.
Sure, I'll join the party.
But what I will say is, will this cost him the captaincy of the Toronto Maple Leafs? Because it probably should, I would think.
When you think about who else is there, you got John Tavares there, you've got Morgan Riley there to start with.
Mitch Marner there.
Mitch Marner too, but even starting with the other two, I think it should. I think it will, just simply for that fact, because one incident doesn't make a man, and one incident doesn't make a person.
Thank goodness.
But one incident is a good tell to what the rest of the guy looks like, and I'm sure if that's one that we know about, There are others. And maybe, and not that there's an incident he's going around doing all these bad things, but maybe he just is a little bit immature still. And he's maybe he's a young kid who's going to score 50 goals, making $11 million, who likes to have fun. Right?
He wouldn't be the first.
And he wouldn't be the first.
Well,
and
he
maybe he's just not ready to be the captain.
That's a lot of money.
And he wants to do that, and they don't want to take the pressure off him. So you know what? I do think this is going to affect him on the captaincy.
Is this the end of the world? No. I mean, obviously not. I'm not condoning trying to get into security cars at 2 a.m. when you're hammered.
Me either.
But at the same time, it's juvenile, and he should be punished, and he should pay a fine, and that. But what it does speak more to, and I think that I'm glad you touched on this, Rod. No, he's not ready to lead the team in that sense. I mean, he's still got some growing up to do. And I'm not coming down on the guy with a hammer because, at 20 years old, you give me $11 million. Hey, probably going to act a fool once in a while. But they're paying him not only for his on-ice performance, but you are kind of the face of the franchise in some sense. First overall pick. I mean, all the hype that came with him. It's a momentary lapse in judgment, but you got to know as our good friend Whiter always used to say, you got to know your surroundings. Should have known his surroundings a little better. Where's his boys on this one?
I think they were with him.
Yeah, I know, but I'm like, come on, like you guys got to be like, hey. No, not you. Somebody's got to take the fall for that one. Wasn't it Chris Carter?
Chris Carter?
Sure. Chris Carter?
But we've all been there in situations. You're not thinking about, geez, if someone ever snapped a picture of this and I went on social media and I'm on TV and I'm on the radio, like you don't think about that.
I'm going to throw it out there, and I mean, I will put myself on the altar here. I used to, and my cousin and I used to have a habit of thought it would be funny to moon cameras, different places like that. And we were at a family function one time, and there was a camera sitting on the table, so we just took it in the bathroom, took a picture of it, Just a moon,
sitting on the photocopier, right?
Exactly.
Smash.
There's no really graphic. Just a picture of your butt. Lo and behold, a few months later, I get a big blow up in the mail. Picture of my ass. My aunt, who's a nice lady and fairly straight laced, thought it was absolutely hilarious when she got her film developed. This is back in the days when you still developed film. That there was a picture of one of her nephews in there, so she had it blown up and sent it to me as a gag back. But I mean,
so moving on.
These things happen.
If he picked on the wrong car.
But do not give him the C.
He picked on the wrong car. We got somebody that needs to be blocked. Have you guys been paying attention to this? We've got spam.
Dmitry Kuznetsov
in the comments here. Wayne writing from Victoria, boys will be boys. Right. I would tend to say boys will be boys.
But he should be a man with that contract and with the responsibilities that he is wanting.
Nobody got hurt out of it. I don't assume there'll be any, maybe a fine at most. But yeah, it'll probably cost him the C. So to our other topics, what would you rather see in the poll? What should Cody Fajardo earn in his next contract with the Rough Riders? And also, how many wins do you think the Riders will have in their final 6 games? People are writing in with answers to both. Nelson in Nashville and Saskatoon writes in. He says, I think you give Fajardo a good incentive-based contract, a 2-year deal, first-year base salary of $300,000. This is not 1955. Oh. And a chance to make up to $400,000. And in the second year, a base salary of $400,000 and a chance to earn up to $500,000.
You got to be careful here. There, as you mentioned, Rod, there's the rumor mills are swirling. He's a free agent. This isn't. You're not. You've got him to negotiate with for the next few months. At what point he can go on the market, and there are going to be suitors out there. Toronto being one of them. And in my opinion, if I'm his agent. If that was the contract that was offered to me, I would just slide that back across the desk and say,
really?
Thanks, but you may need to try again.
Do better.
You know what?
Oh,
you are
100%.
You are so
because
right.
Cody does have all the leverage.
Yes, he does, and that's the biggest thing. And
Isaac Harker's waiting in the wings.
But we're in
Colorado School of Mines.
Don't think about that. We're in this world though where we don't want to take any risks and any chances, and we're like, well, we can protect ourselves, right? Let's give him a base salary of $250,000, but all these incentives. No, he can make $500, but only if he proves it, right? We know that we're gonna. You know what I mean? we're going to pay. We only want to pay for the results. And
that's a
guess
hard
what?
pass.
There are other people out there who will pay to have him on their team. So step up, or he's going to leave.
And honestly, if he's done to the point where I think his agent has a reasonable ask in saying we want some definite, solid, guaranteed money here, not an incentive-laden deal. Of course, there'll be incentives, and there always is, but the base, and I assume a good chunk of the ask will be upfront money for this guy.
It should be too, yeah.
Well, and given the fact that how many of the starting quarterbacks are still starting? 1. 8 guys have gone down. You want to talk about wanting some security. If you're the agent, like you're looking around the CFL going, man, these guys are dropping like flies on a July evening. Like you want some security and some dough to protect your guy. This will be an interesting negotiation that goes on, and I don't know if they've started it yet. I assume they've kicked a few tires, but this won't be an easy one.
Audience participation time from Mike Lee. Is the poll question to actually ask about the poll question?
Is it really? What is the poll question? No, it is not.
Put it on the poll.
Chris Ponticus writes in, he says, 4 more wins in the final 6 games. And $300,000 per season. Anonymous texter on the Prairie Mobile text line, $350,000 per and 3 wins in the final 6. So we are taking questions on a couple things. What should Cody, or answers, I guess. What should Cody Fajardo make in his next deal with the Rough Riders, and how many wins will they have in their final 6? And by the way, Craig in Regina writes in, Prairie Mobile text line on Auston Matthews. He says, Matthews' incident makes Toronto's decision easy. It's Tavares for the C.
Yeah.
Don't think the pants down thing will go away in Toronto. There will be a lot of full moons when Toronto is in town.
They get more worked up about Phil Kessel ordering a hot dog than a guy dropping his drawers.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
So, didn't Claude Giroux do it just a couple of years ago?
Well, I saw
and he wasn't the captain,
John
was he?
Cornish's name flash across the
by the way,
Facebook feed.
Who hasn't?
You're watching Rod Pedersen on demand. For more of The Rod Pedersen Show, visit rodpedersen.com or follow Rod Pedersen on social media.